You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It is your host, Brian Fullerton here, hanging with you guys. Boom, check it out. We've got none other than Kory freaking Ballard doing a Friday takeover of the show. Bet you guys didn't expect that one. This guy runs a mega successful lawn and landscape company over in Des Moines, Iowa. That's funny right there. He also runs a successful company called Ballard Products that you guys know and love, with the lawnmower blades, the catch pros, the side discharge baggers, the side chute blockers. Gosh, 200 plus different products and services on his website. Thank you so much for using the code Brian's10 that you guys purchased those products from to save 10%. We do get a small kickback. Guys, Kory Ballard is doing the Friday takeover of the show. I shot him a text. We were texting back and forth. I think it was 3:53 in the morning over here. And he texts me and he's like, hey, dude, I got your text last night. Kory's the kind of guy who goes to bed at like 9 o'clock and he wakes up at 3, 4 in the morning. So he's texting me, 3 a.m. his time, which was like 4 a.m. my time. And so we're texting back and forth. And I said, hey, dude, you need to do a takeover of the show. I gave him a paragraph, explained what's going on. And he said, he goes, reluctantly, I'll do it because he's just a busy dude. But he goes, you know what? I got some good yuck stories, right? So I said, don't tell me about all your successes. We know that you're kicking butt out there with a children's medium, t-shirt with those big guns and the biceps that could, break glass or whatever. So I said, don't tell me about all your successes. We know you're a butt kicker. We know you're Hoss. In all sincerity, I super appreciate Kory and his friendship. He's actually going to be one of the main speakers here at Lawntrepreneur Academy Live 2021. Can you believe it? There's nothing I could do to get Kory over there. I couldn't pay him enough. His pay grade is on a whole nother level. It's really cool seeing guys at this caliber, when they're coming to do something, it isn't because of a stupid check that I'm going to cut him a $500 or $1,000 speaking fee check. You know what I mean? It's nothing like that. There's nothing I could do. I couldn't pay Kory $5,000 or $10,000 to really pay the dude what he's worth and for his time. And I mean that sincerely, right? You always hear people that are like motivational speakers, like, this guy could be doing almost anything and be almost anywhere, like the Tony Robbinses or the Grant Cardones, right? Well, here's the deal. Kory is like that. Okay. Kory could be doing anything he wants, almost anywhere he wants with his mega successful companies, but he's choosing to be here with you guys on the podcast for the next half hour. And he's choosing to come to Lawntrepreneur Academy Live for the day. Okay. He could fly in on a private jet, fly out, you know what I'm saying? Within 2-3 hours, he's spending the whole friggin' night and the whole friggin' day with us. That's going to be so, so cool. I just, I said on a podcast a week or two ago, some people treat a crumb like a feast and other people treat a feast like a crumb. I always want to treat the crumb that Kory gives us like a feast because I really appreciate him and his friendship. All right. So here's the deal. I said, Kory, can you do a Friday takeover? He said, absolutely. If you guys don't know a guy named Kaz is one of Kory's right-hand guys for Ballard Products. He does a lot of their media stuff. So big shout out and thank you to Kaz as well for recording this and shooting off the file and the email to get to me, because Kory pays people to do that kind of stuff, right? So we really appreciate that as well. So guys, without further ado, we're going to hear from the continuation of a tradition that we got going on. We've been on a hot streak, so many great guests. We got a Friday takeover show with none other than Kory Ballard from Perficut Site Management and Ballard Inc. Products. I'm hoping he shares some fun, juicy stories. I haven't proofed the podcast for real. I'm excited about listening to it with you guys, same day, real time with y'all. Are you guys not excited about hearing from Kory Ballard? So here's the only prerequisite I put on the podcast. I said, don't tell me everything you got going on that's successful. Give me some juicy, like, horror stories, some an employee issue or some equipment issues or something crazy. And I said, do you got anything big, like any big problems? Because most of us run, smaller companies comparatively to Kory's size business. And I said, give me some like catastrophic, like, knee jerkers that you wouldn't expect. So I don't know what he shared. We're going to find out together, but hopefully he's got some fun, juicy stories that we're going to hear together in just a quick second. All right, well, let's do this really quick. You guys know that we have one of the best producers in the business. That is Marty, Mr. Producer, down in the ATL. Now, here's the deal. If you guys ever need voiceover work, or you guys ever need, some help with commercials, whether they're audio or radio spots, he has the golden voice. It's literally like talking to Samuel L. Jackson on the phone when you talk to this guy. I'm telling you, the first time he picked up the phone, and have you ever heard Paul Jamison said that he's got some hecklers out there about his producer? Paul's like one of my best friends, but I'll tell you what, I was heckling Paul behind the scenes. I said, Paul, you don't have a producer, bro. Like, there's no takeout window. Who's on the other side of that thing, man? You're just imitating another voice, right? Well, the funny thing is, one day Paul comes over. The story is that he came over to my house. He's doing a summer road tour. He was up here doing like 12 different podcast interviews in 48 hours. And he got done with like 3 people back to back to back, and he was uploading the files for Mr. Producer to start editing. And I said, who's on the phone there? What are you zipping those files off to? And he goes, Mr. Producer. And I said, dude, for real? Like, you're still playing the shtick? Like, you don't have a producer. And it's not like I didn't doubt that people have producers, right? Like, Joe Rogan's got Jamie and all these different people, right? I was just like, is he trying to like sound fancier than he is? I mean, I already respect the guy and what he's doing. He's got an amazing podcast. But then he goes, dude, if you don't believe me, call him. So I think it was the next day, Paul was zipping out of here on a Sunday, and Sunday at like 2 p.m. I called this guy, and he goes, hello. And I go, I got your number from Paul Jameson. Who is this guy? So Marty and I got to talking, and he's a really, really good dude. And so anyway, his voice is literally the golden voice. Okay. So if you guys need any work with your audio or radio spots for promoting your business for real, he is the go-to guy. Okay. Check him out on Instagram at Mr. Producer USA. Shoot him a DM. Tell him we sent you. He'll take care of you. His rates are actually really reasonable. For $100, $200, you can get a lot done with Mr. Producer. Okay. So guys, that's what I got for you right now. We're going to hear from today's show sponsors with Mr. Producer. And then before you know it, we're going to hear right on back, hearing a little bit more from Kory Ballard. Can't believe we got Kory on the show. That is a true commitment to this community, okay? We got Kory Ballard from Perficut Site Management, Ballard Products. Thanks so much for supporting him. Here's Kory pouring back into you guys and supporting you. Let's check it out.
L'Entrepreneur Academy Live 2021 is going to be the biggest and best one yet. And we want to see you Saturday, November 13th in Novi, Michigan. Join hundreds of entrepreneurs just like yourself who are looking to crush it in their business and make 2022 the most profitable year ever. This year's speakers are a who's who of the industry. Greg Whitstock, Kory Ballard, Keith Kalfas, Mark Parker, Caleb and Brittany Almond, Paver Pete, Brian and Liz Fullerton, and Jeff Joyner. L'Entrepreneur Academy Live 2021 is a powerful and inspiring all-day conference designed to help you take your business to the next level. And it's brought to you by Xmark, RedMax, SureTrack Trailers, and Yardbook. If you make it to town Friday, November the 12th, you're invited to hang out, network, and have a blast at the Full Throttle Adrenaline Park, brought to you by Toro's Horizon 360. Come ride endless laps on the high-powered go-karts, play virtual reality games, and win great prizes. Excited about bringing your spouse to the event? Discounted spouse tickets are available. Excited about bringing your whole crew? Group discounts of 4 or more also available. Do whatever you have to do to make it to L'Entrepreneur Academy Live 2021 and grab your tickets before they're sold out. Tickets will go fast, so if you'd like to get more information, visit us at l'entrepreneuracademy.com or use the link in the show description and follow along with the hashtag LAL2021.
Hey guys, Kory Ballard with Ballard Products and Perficut Site Management out of Des Moines, Iowa. So Brian reached out and asked me if I would do a podcast takeover, which I'm not sure how we do that or exactly what he wants from me other than to tell some fun stories or maybe some tough stories about our business and some of the issues we've had and learning experiences. I know Brian and Liz just had a baby girl, so maybe we're just going to try to give him a break. That guy works a crazy amount of hours. And so he asked me to do this, and I'm like, how do I have a podcast by myself? I'm so used to having somebody at least to banter with, ask questions, and engage. And so I'll do my best to bring you a little bit of content here and a few things that have happened to our company over the years, and hopefully that relates well. But then he said you could pitch a few of your things. But Brian's been a great partner with us, and I've enjoyed getting to spend time with him and watch his stuff. And he puts a ton of energy into this for you guys in the community, and I hope you recognize that. Despite some of the negativity out there, the guy works a crazy amount of hours and puts a lot of content out there for you guys all over Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, the podcast. That doesn't come easy. I know from experience. And so we've got a podcast called The Green Grind. So if you guys haven't had a chance to jump on there, we're trying to get great guests and tell inspirational stories and also some struggle stories where we don't want to always just tell the stories of winning. I think we learn a lot from our mistakes and guys that have struggled and downsized and, had that work-life balance that we all struggle with. And, the wife says she's, tired of you working 60 hours a week or 70 hours a week. And so we're trying to bring great guests to that. So if you haven't checked out The Green Grind, we drop a new episode every other Tuesday. You can find it anywhere you listen to podcasts as well. But and we certainly appreciate all the support, guys. Brian, you guys used the Brian's 10 code on the Ballard website, and that's been amazing. And we appreciate the support there. And so yeah, I'm going to dig in a little bit here. Again, kind of awkward. I listened to the almonds, and at least they could have a conversation. There's nobody in here to ask me any questions. So a podcast by yourself. I don't know how Brian does it. Maybe he writes a script. I did not write a script because that's just how I do things. But a little just quick background, guys. I mean, we sell accessories through the Ballard line, but as many of you may know or may not, I'm in the lawn care business as well, and we're a full-service site management company out of Des Moines, Iowa. We do everything, mainly commercial, but we do everything from mowing, turf applications, irrigation, landscape construction, a lot of snow and ice management. We have a tree division. And then we've also got 2 other branches, one in Omaha, Nebraska, and one in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. So got a great team of people. I'm surrounded by just some really, really dedicated and smart people. And man, if you're trying to do this on your own, it's super tough. You got to get great people around you, with the same culture, the same core values, and man, you can go a long ways when you surround yourself with the right people. But Brian had asked maybe some like kind of crazy stories, and there's so many crazy stories over my 25, 27 years, which ages me a little bit, that there's I couldn't even think of. It took me a while to think of some because we've just had so many, and occasionally I'll get a phone call and someone will say, "Hey, Kory, are you sitting down? You're not going to believe what happened." And I'm like, well, I'm not sitting down, but I will believe what happened. And so it takes a lot to shock me these days. We've certainly screwed up a lot of things, and we've had a lot of things go our way, and we've had a lot of things not go our way. And our goal is always to learn from those, whether it's underpricing things or hiring the wrong people or having equipment stolen. You name it. We've certainly been through all of that stuff. But a few things that stuck out to me, as we grew our company over the years, I've mentioned on Brian's podcast and many other, we grew our company extremely fast, and we weren't good on the back end, and we certainly we were great at sales. We were great at getting the work done, and we were pretty bad on the billing and collecting side. And what happened to us in like 2009 and 10 when the economy was kind of crashing, and we just weren't paying attention to our receivables. And I encourage you guys to pay attention to your receivables. We're doing a lot of work for large builders, and that included landscape installation, irrigation installation, and then of course it led into snow removal. And we let these guys who had these large companies get into us for a lot of money. And we'd have conversations with them and say, "Hey guys, we need to get paid. We need to get paid." And they are on the 90, 120 list, and it got out of control. And we had ourselves really vulnerable and really exposed. And so what happened in that case is these companies started closing down left and right, large companies that you thought were maybe invincible, building 300 homes a year and townhomes and HOAs, and we're doing all their work, right? And so those are great deals. They seem sexy on the outside, and you've got all the work, and it looks good from a revenue top line side. And they were profitable back then. We weren't against a lot of competition, so we were priced accordingly. But I can tell you for us, we had 3 or 4 of these companies file bankruptcy, and it took a huge hit on our company. We had about a couple $1 million. I know that sounds crazy to some of you guys, but we were doing a lot of work and not collectible. And as these companies started closing down, several of them owed us, $200,000, $500,000, and it was crippling. So here we had this great company, and just in full transparency, and I've told this before, we were sitting in a bankruptcy attorney's office in 2010 or 2011. Great company, great employees, everything we needed, but no cash. We had ran ourselves out of cash, and that took a huge. That was an eye-opening experience. And after that meeting with that attorney, and he laid out what a bankruptcy would look like, and we said, absolutely not. We're not doing that. Let's just get in here. Let's grind. Let's cut costs. Let's figure out what was going on, and it's also not let our clients get into us for those amounts of money. Let's pick our clients correctly, and let's make sure that we don't get, we can't let people, we got to cut people off at 60 days, sometimes 30 days, depends on the client, unless there's a prearranged agreement. So just make sure you're managing your money. Nothing worse than doing that work and not getting paid. You might as well just go fishing or do something you enjoy with the family, because man, it's tough not getting paid. Most of us, our margins aren't high enough to take those kind of hits over and over. And we had just 3 or 4 of them just hit us all at the same time. And absolutely, it was a scary time. We had to put personal money in to make payroll, and it was crazy time. But that also leads me into kind of the next thing, and Brian brought it up because I'd kind of forgot about it. But, when we started looking at our numbers and saying, okay, how do we make cuts, or how do we make changes? How do we get this? How do we right this ship? How do we get it back on track? And several things happened. We started doing an audit on our insurance, and we were insuring equipment we no longer owned, and that sounds crazy to probably some smaller guys, but we had so many pieces of equipment and trucks, skid loaders and mowers and you name it, ditch witches and all this equipment spread out, 100, maybe 100 and some vehicles and tractors and just a massive amount of assets. And as we started scrubbing the list with our insurance agent, we realized that we were insuring, several dozen, that's probably a low number, maybe 30, 40 pieces of equipment we no longer even owned. And we were still insuring it. So we hadn't dropped it off. We hadn't paid attention. Let's say we sell, a skid loader, trade a skid loader, but we just kept insuring them. And I don't know how long we had been doing that, maybe a year, maybe 2 years, but it was a big number. And so that was one of the things that, we just, when things are good, you kind of overlook that stuff. We had cell phones that ex-employees still had and they were still using, and we were still paying for them. I don't know how many were out there, but more than I'd like to admit. People had left, and here they still got a cell phone. Maybe they got an iPad. So those are just some things that, you just have to pay attention to when you grow your company. Those little, those nickels add up to dollars, and dollars add up to thousands, and they all make a difference. And I can tell you that was one of the best things that ever happened to us, was almost going out of business and learning what do we need to do to be a better company and watch those numbers. And today in our company, we challenge everybody to save dollars. We get 3 quotes on trucks when we know we're going to probably buy from the same dealership, right? But we started getting quotes on mowers and trucks and skid loaders, and really challenging some of our best vendors to give us the best pricing. Can we pre-buy chemicals? Can we pre-buy salt? At the end of the year, if you're playing that tax game a little bit and you're looking to maybe get, if you're going to buy a truck, maybe you buy it in December, and you can get the depreciation. You can get, there's some cash, you can play if you're paying your taxes based on cash and not accrual. There's certainly some things you can do there. So not giving any business lectures, but there's just a lot you can do to save dollars, and those dollars add up to a lot, and they make a big difference on the bottom line. What else am I thinking? I was thinking back to this huge job we did, and this was the first big commercial job we did. And I don't know if you guys have any nightmares like this, but so we land this Walmart. It's the largest construction job that we had landed, and this was probably 2007 or 8 maybe, and it was maybe a couple $100,000 install, right? Trees, mulch, irrigation, pretty standard. And so we get the job and everybody celebrates, and I'm thinking we hit the jackpot at the time. It was the largest, single job we'd ever landed. And, I'm sure we were low bid. We didn't know our numbers, and we had a commercial estimator bidding it. So, we probably didn't have it bid right, but regardless, we were super excited about the opportunity. And, we were in love with this idea that everyone's going to see us at the new Walmart, right? And that's an ego and pride thing. And so on a Friday afternoon, we get several hundred trees and shrubs delivered, and they deliver them to the job site, which is how we do a lot of our stuff. We have direct delivery to the job site if we can be as efficient, so we can be as efficient as possible. And so here, all this stuff gets delivered to the Walmart parking lot, right, on a Friday afternoon. And we drive up there, and it all looks good, and it looks great. And it was a holiday weekend. I believe it was the 4th of July, and the way it fell, we had a 3-day weekend. I think whether it fell on a Friday or Monday, we gave everybody off. And so that plant material, I don't know what the cost was, like 75, 80,000, who knows, more than it should have been, and sat on the Walmart parking lot for 3 days without water, sitting on a brand new asphalt parking lot. I don't know if you guys know much about how the sun works in the middle of July, but we show up Tuesday, and every single piece that was delivered was smoked. I mean, Not, hey, you can put some water on it and bring it back. I mean, dead as dead can get. And what do? I mean, it was like, holy shit, what did we do here? We totally dropped the ball. We didn't water it. We had it sitting on concrete. I mean, just dumb, right? I mean, that's just a huge oversight in our management team, and fell on a holiday weekend, and everybody just kind of took off, and we'll deal with it Tuesday, right, when we come back. And so we lost every bit of plant material that day. And guess what you have to do then? You got to reorder it. And so I don't know what we lost on that job, but it was a lot of money. I can tell you that's never happened again. We've certainly we've had some plant material die on job sites if it's sat for an extended amount of time. Maybe that we got it there early and they weren't ready for us. And so Blake did a video last week, and we had with B&B, and we had maybe 7 or 8 water trucks sitting there. I don't know if you want to check that out on his YouTube channel. I'm not trying to steer you away from Brian by any means, but Blake had a cool video, and we had all these water trucks sitting. He goes, "What do you do with these water trucks?" And so we water floral. We water all the trees that go in the ground. We typically have 6 or 7 people running water routes every single day. Because keeping that plant material alive is absolutely crucial, not only to the aesthetics of the job, making our clients happy, but we don't want to replace it. That's how you lose money, at least in our business, in the commercial world or residential world. But the residential world, those people might be watering their own plant material over the weekend. Commercial site, there's nobody there, and even if it's irrigated, you still got to pump some water into those trees and get them established. So, a huge learning experience there, and it was humbling. Oh, a couple other things. I mean, we've done the same stuff, guys. We've flipped mowers, we put them in ponds, and we've had all that stuff happen. Something else that recently happened. I don't know what you guys do for uniforms, but if you listen to me at all, I'm always talking about branding, having everybody in uniforms, and so we started doing a deal where we would pay people if they let's say they quit or get fired, we would pay them to bring their uniforms back. We want the uniforms back, whether we throw them away or whatever we do. Sometimes if they're in good shape, we'll clean them, have them laundered from a professional laundry service that comes in once a week, and then we'll give those out for free. Maybe we see a guy in a filthy shirt, like, "Hey man, here's a new shirt." But for a long time we didn't do that. So we had all these Perficut, shirts floating around, sweatshirts, coats, hats floating around Des Moines, Iowa here. And I've had 2 cases that I can remember where we've actually made the news. Pretty kind of scary stuff. A guy had robbed a grocery store, and they're looking for this guy, and he's wearing a Perficut coat. And I don't know if he worked for us or not. A lot of times when guys quit, maybe their buddy, maybe they room with somebody. Now he grabs his coat. I don't know, but not good for marketing, not good for your company reputation. And then just recently, it was kind of interesting. A guy stole a car. It actually made the local news. It was, and here he is wearing a Perficut sweatshirt. And so our social media blows up, and hey, Perficut, who is this guy? The police got a hold of us. And he actually did work for us a couple years back and still had this sweatshirt. And here he is. I think it was a sweatshirt. It's got the huge logo on the front, big Power P on the back, and guy steals a car. And luckily we were able to assist the police and get this guy apprehended and arrested, I believe. But so try to get those uniforms back. That we used to think, hey, it's good advertising, but the truth is you never know where those uniforms are going to end up and float around. Years and years back, we used to just take them up to Goodwill and give them away and think, hey, maybe they'll go to a good cause. Well, the truth is I don't want those floating around anywhere, and you guys probably shouldn't either. You just never know when someone's going to have your shirt on and maybe going to do something that's unbecoming of them and not represent your brand or your company. And man, you just never know. They could be standing at line at McDonald's next to a client and do something incredibly offensive. And here they are wearing your, Brian's lawn maintenance, shirt, right? And so get your uniforms back. Pay attention to that kind of stuff. What else I got, guys? This is kind of weird. Like I said, I'm used to somebody asking me questions. Also, guys, so I'm thinking too, before I get into the last one, make sure if you haven't signed up for LAO, you're doing that. Hope to see a lot of you guys out at GIE. We didn't have GIE last year. It sounds like there's going to be a ton of people out there. So it's kind of getting close here, but get there and network, and don't be afraid to walk up to some of the guys you see, whether it's Brian or me or anybody that you follow and watch. We try to have time for everybody and talk business and try to have some fun. And there's some really cool networking events in the evenings, dinner, and all these different things going on. Friday morning, there's a panel session that myself and Sean Spencer and some other guys are on. I think Paul Jameson's hosting that with Naylor and a few other guys. Actually, Caleb, I think, is on that as well. And so make sure you're, if you can get to those events, certainly try. I know guys say, maybe I can't afford it or I can't be away from my business, but man, you get so much out of those events. And when we were growing our company, we just didn't have those opportunities. We had to learn the hard way. YouTube wasn't really a thing. We had to go to local trade shows, but locally, people just wouldn't share information. And when you get outside of the local market, people will share a lot of information. And sometimes that's over a beer, and you can just say, hey, man, what's working for you? What's not? I'm struggling with people. How you finding them? How you keeping them? What are you paying? And I think there's a lot of value in that. So I encourage you guys to think about the cost of maybe flying or driving and what that really looks like to grow your business. And when I talk about growing your business, I just want to hit on this too. I think people always think that I mean grow it bigger. Growing your business is not necessarily growing it bigger. My buddy Leroy Maines, who's on the Green Grind with me, is downsizing his business, but he's growing his business in a way that's smarter, right? He's learning what he's good at. He's getting rid of clients that don't make sense for his portfolio. So growing your business is not always top line revenue. It could be just growing your culture, growing your team, looking at the services that you are best at, and learning how to really get your niche in your market. So enough on that soapbox. I'm supposed to be telling funny stories or something, but I always need somebody here to drive that. One last kind of crazy, scary thing lately, guys, that's happened to us, and hopefully you're paying attention to this stuff, but there's a lot of crazy fraud going on. So we've been paying off equipment lately. We've had a good several years, and so we've been really working on paying off equipment. And we certainly borrow money sometimes when the rates are right, or if we need to, if it makes sense for cash flow. But so we've been paying off equipment, and we've had some fraud where companies these people overseas somewhere. You can never figure out who they are, where they're at. But so recently we have had where we reach out to the lender and say, hey, we'd like to pay this. One of them was just a tree truck. It was an expensive tree truck. And we said, hey, we want to pay this off. What's today's payoff amount? And they said, hey, we'll send you an email today with the payoff amount and wire information. So we get the email, or my CFO gets the email, and he gets the wire information. He wires over $135,000 to pay this boom truck off. And we call him about a week later and say, hey, where's the title to that truck? We want to get it, we want the title of the truck and put it away. And the guy said, well, you got to pay the loan off. And Jeff, my CFO, said, well, I paid it off last week. And they said, we didn't get the money. Well, what has happened is, these guys they're good, man. They're slick. They had caught the email in between the financing company on the truck and Jeff, our CFO's. They'd caught the email. It looked just like it should. It was on letterhead, and they changed the wire instructions to their bank. And it looked legit. It was Wells Fargo, looked legit. Why would we think any different? So here we are. We wire the money, and gone. And we did that with a ditch witch. We did that with a couple other pieces of equipment. So we had a day where we wired about $185,000 to the wrong people. And at one point, they said it was unrecoverable. And luckily for us, we had put in place last year a very inexpensive fraud policy, kind of a rider on our insurance. So depending on the size of your company, guys, look at maybe a fraud program. It's not that expensive. And it looks like we're going to be able to recover all those funds. Because once that money's gone, you can see the path. It's Wells Fargo, and then it's over in frickin', I don't know, it's overseas in some bank, and it's gone, and there's no way to track that money. Even the FBI is involved. They've just said there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cases going on. There's nothing we can do. The money's gone. So luckily, we had enough, I don't know, I was going to say brains or maybe luck again. But our agent, it was great, said, hey, guys, there's a lot going on. You have a lot of risk. You're moving a lot of money around. Have you looked at this fraud prevention add-on? And we're like, yeah, not really. And so we had the coverage. We also had a client who was past due, and they got an email from us saying, hey, guys, you're past due. We'd like you to get you caught up. We need you to pay. They wired the money. The email was not from us. they wired the money to somebody else. And so we didn't even know it. We called them, a gal on our office called and said, hey guys, we really need to get this squared up, getting to the end of the year. And they said, we wired that money back in July after we received that email from you. Well, again, email was not from us. Looked perfect, had our logo on it. They changed one letter in the email. Instead of an O, they used a 0. I mean, who would ever catch? I mean, who would know, right? It looked legit. The amount matched. So we've definitely learned some lessons there. We've put in some secondary authentication on our email. So now when you log in, it shoots you a code to your phone. So somebody would have to have your email and your password and your phone to get into our email. So we've certainly been taking some added steps to secure that. But just a cautionary tale, guys. That was a 28,000. So we were at about 215,000, I believe, money lost in 1 week. That's a lot of money. I don't know about you guys, but it takes a lot for us to net that kind of money. And it was insanely frustrating and depressing. We worked really hard to get a good bankroll set up and start really knocking down all of our debt, try to be a debt-free company today, which, has taken many, many years to get to, minus the real estate. We certainly have some real estate loans on our 5 facilities, but, so yeah, just, make sure you're paying attention to the little things. It makes a big difference. Guys, we certainly, again, we appreciate the support. I don't know if this is what Brian wanted, but man, he puts a ton of stuff out there for you guys. And we certainly appreciate, Brian and his wife and the work they put in. We become friends. We talk a lot. He's been a great ambassador for the Ballard products. He puts a lot of energy into the Entrepreneur Academy. So I hope you guys are going to get to that. If you're looking for another podcast, I'm going to shamelessly, plug the Green Grind. Again, we think we've been getting a lot of traction on that, and we think we put out a pretty good podcast where we don't, no bullshit. We just try to have good conversations with people. A couple weeks ago or last week, we had on Shuby, who was a police officer, and he decided to go full time, and has a really inspirational story. And there's a lot of guys out there, firefighters, policemen, and trying to figure out what does it look like to go full time and when do I make that jump. But we all have these crazy stories in business. My deal is we just try to learn from every one of them. We underbid jobs. We it happens not as much anymore. But when we do that, we finish the job. We do it the way it's supposed to be done. We finish the job out and we mark that one down and say, hey, let's how do we avoid that? And let's make sure that never happens again. And so hope you guys had a great year. It's been goofy, I know, with COVID going on, but everybody I'm talking to seems like they're having a solid season. It seems like there's plenty of work, not enough workers. I'm going to talk a little bit about that at LAL again, and how do you become a good leader? How do you raise up and have those tough conversations and lead a team into battle? Because that's what it is. I look at it kind of like a sports team, and Tom Brady played last week, and I look at it, what kind of leader is he, and how does he elevate his team to get the victory? I don't think he's the best fundamental quarterback in the league by any means, but man, he's a leader on the field, and people want to win for him. And if you can get your team around you to want to win for you, man, it's just the results are amazing, and the sky's the limit. So, Brian, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to jump on here. I don't know if I did what you asked of me, but it's hard. I don't know how you do these on your own, bud. So hats off to that. And we appreciate all the support from you guys. And the Brian's 10 code's been amazing. If you guys got questions for me, super easy to find Ballard on Instagram, Facebook. Our website's ballard-inc.com. I've got 300 or 400 products on there. If they make sense for you, great. If they don't, no problem. Totally get it. Whatever works for your business to make you effective and efficient and safe. And we try to keep bringing you new stuff. We've got a bunch of new stuff coming for next year as well. And hopefully we've solved this supply problem. We're ordering massive amounts of everything to hope that 2022 looks much better, because I know guys have been trying to buy things that we don't have, and that's not fun for us either. So again, guys, appreciate you getting me on the Fullerton Unfiltered, and hope you enjoyed the episode and maybe learned maybe a small takeaway, and hopefully see you at LAL or GIE, and we'll catch you soon. Thanks, and have a great day.
Hey, a little treat for you today. Some bonus content from the Brian's Lawn Maintenance YouTube channel.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Brian here, Brian's Law Maintenance. Trust you guys are doing well. Hey, today we're going to be talking about all things snow removal to help you guys grow your snow removal business. We've got contracts, we've got snow and ice management logs, we've got postcard designs, we've got a bunch of great resources that I wanted to talk to you guys for just a few minutes here. I don't want this to be a pitch fest by any means, but I did want to talk about it because the season is changing, right? We actually had a rain out day today. The weather is getting a lot colder. Before we know it, we snap our fingers, we're going to be doing leaves. We snap our fingers again, and we're going to be doing snow plowing and snow removal, especially up here in the Midwest and the Northeast, right? So here's what I want to do. Just take 5 quick minutes, let you guys know of some resources that are available to help you guys grow your lawn and landscape business for the snow plowing season. And I think these are going to be a very, very exciting addition to what you guys already got going on there with your lawn and landscape business. So without further ado, let's check it out.
Make the ground shake.
All right, well, if you guys are new here, our channel is all about helping you guys grow a more successful lawn and landscaping business so you guys can go out there and crush it. We do that with product reviews, how-tos, daily vlogs, and sometimes little business mindset videos and helpful resource videos like this one. Now, here's the deal. Up here in Michigan, I've been in business for 16 seasons, believe it or not. It feels like we got started yesterday, but at the same point, what did they say? The days are long, but the years are quick, something like that. Well, here's the deal. It feels the exact same way. I think that's a parenting line, but it feels the exact same way with small business ownership and entrepreneurship. So here's the deal. About 3 years ago, we started a resource out there in the industry called launchpreneuracademy.com. So many of you have known it, have checked it out, have purchased resources from it. Thank you for that support in that business, right? What we have on there is training programs, digital downloads. We have commercial contracts. We have lawn care contracts, rate adjustment letters to increase the rate to your clients. We have so many great resources on that website where you guys have shown so much love and support, and we really appreciate that work. Well, over the last few years, I've been trying to get snow contracts and snow programs and resources. Well, you guys know my friend Mike Bedell and the Debt Free Landscaper and debtfreelandscaper.com. We actually acquired those resources, all these snow programs and contracts from Mike to make available to you guys on launchpreneuracademy.com. He wanted to blow it up. I wanted to blow it up. We want to get these resources in your guys' hands. So we made them all available now, and then we 3x'd everything we're doing because we got to do it bigger, right? So that's what we did with launchpreneuracademy.com with the snow resources. Let me show you guys these real quick. And again, I don't want this to be a pitch fest or anything. If you want to support, great. If you don't, absolutely no big deal. This is the for Brian's Lawn Maintenance 10 or 15 years ago when I was out there just throwing mud up against the wall and sees what sticks. We had no good contracts, no good resources, and we just weren't being taken very seriously by any of the commercial or residential clients we were trying to approach. So we're going to talk about contracts for a couple quick minutes. So we have a resource on the website. It is a commercial contract. It is $99. You get 3 different templates. You get a commercial contract. We have customer info, a bunch of legalese with terms and conditions. We have our rates on here. We have more legalese, hold harmless clauses. These contracts are very, very well put together, okay? This is over 15 years of experience putting these together from my friend Mike, and then also my additions to the resource, okay? These are great resources if you're trying to get into the snow removal game. By the way, you download the contract, you get it, it's editable, it's downloadable, you get free lifetime updates, free access forever once you have access to the training program, and anything new that we bring into that course, okay? It's a tremendous deal, okay? There's 3 contracts in each program, right? You get a commercial per push, a commercial prepay, and then you also get my version of the contract that I kind of made it a little bit more specific for my business and how we use it for our company. We have the exact same thing for the residential contracts. We have a residential prepay, a residential per push template, and then my version of the contract to make it more available when we send it out via our CRM yard book to get it into our customers' hands, right? Another resource that we have out there is a very popular one that not a lot of guys know or use, and I didn't until a few years ago, and I linked up with my friend Mike, was a snow and ice management log. You can get this resource for $49. Use it for the rest of your business for life. We keep a stack of these in a clipboard in the back seat, and we talk about snow and ice management log, the time the snowstorm started, the plowing started, plowing completed, shoveling started, shoveling completed, the temperature, and so much more. We are required to fill these out for our company. Both me and my guys know to do that for every site that we visit. So we have a paper log and we can track weather conditions, okay? It's extremely important. Now, we have commercial contracts, residential contracts, snow and ice management logs. Well, that's great, but how do you actually get the customers? Well, in true Pitch Fest fashion, right? I'm just having some fun. But we do have residential and commercial postcards that you guys can get. This is our snow plow template that you guys can purchase. The art file, it's $75. You see, with the scaling of the internet, it's a couple $100 to get a postcard made and designed. You guys know that, plus 5, 10, 20 hours. So you can get a postcard design for a fraction of the cost. And literally all you have to do is put your name and number and your logo on the back, and boom, you have a plug and play resource. You can put these on commercial mailboxes. You can put these on residential mailboxes. You can put them in the door. You can have your guys pass them out, do some hand billing. This is an incredible resource. We never had anything like this available to us 10 years ago when I was getting started in business. You buy this art file. If you take it to Vistaprint, they got to resize it for $5. If you take it to our preferred print shop, Postcard Mania, not only can they help you with an EDDM campaign or a business select type of campaign, which is a little bit more specific, but they will also make free edits on this postcard to, earn the printing and the print from you guys when you take this downloadable document to them. They already know, they're expecting you. We've got corporate account people that can take care of you guys. They have been first class behind the scenes, right? So we've got contracts, we've got ice logs, we've got postcards, and let's say you have no idea what you're doing on how to plow snow. We have the How to Plow Snow training program, right? Learn the basics of managing small commercial sites. We're not teaching you how to, plow snow from a Home Depot or a Menards or a big box store. We're teaching you how to make a couple $100 an hour plowing snow with, jackpot size commercial and residential jobs that can get you out of the gate and making money quickly with snow plowing. Hey, before you drop $8,500 on a new plow and $50,000 on a plow truck or whatever, make the investment into some education to learn how to plow snow correctly, okay? We've been doing it for a handful of years now. We've made hundreds of thousands of dollars already in revenue and profit plowing snow. I've learned from some of the best with Mike Bedell, Troy Clogg, and Kory Ballard, and these guys have helped me, and I want to help you guys, okay? So, long story short, just wanted to make these resources available. If you're looking for snowplow contracts, residential contracts, snow and ice management logs, postcard designs, or even learning how to plow snow, they're all there under launchpreneuracademy.com/store. And then you can scroll all the way to the snow removal section and you guys can check those all out. By the way, I know a lot of you guys, for example, want the residential and commercial contracts. We bundled them together. You can save 20%. Maybe you want access to all the resources. We've bundled them together, save 25%. And it saves you like $75 to $100, okay? With the all-in snow plowing bundle. Guys, just want to do a quick short and sweet video. I know it's a little bit of a pitch here. I'm not trying to make it a pitch. I just wanted to get these resources in your hand. Make sure that you guys have access to them. Guys, if you want to grow and crush your snow plowing business this year and you don't have good contracts or you don't know where to turn, these resources can absolutely level the field for you guys, help you compete with the big boys, help you compete with the guys that have been doing this for 10, 20 years, and put yourself in a position to plow through the competition. All right. I had to work that line in there somehow. All right. Just having some fun here. Guys, that's what I got for you on today's videos. Short and sweet. Like I said, we got a rain out day today. I've been doing nothing but churn out all of our residential and commercial snow work. It's going to be snow removal season. Before you know it, snap those fingers and the whole season is going to change from lawn to snow. And you know what? We're looking forward to it because we are in a position to win. We are feeling confident. We are ready to crush it and we're ready to take our snow game to the next level. And I invite you guys to do the same thing. Links in the description if you guys want to check out those resources. Thanks again for taking the time to listen to me rant. And if you guys want to thumbs up the video, if you guys appreciate it, and or if you guys got some great feedback or some testimonies on the contracts, can you leave them down below? We super appreciate that feedback. Let us know how we're doing. All right. Always here to get better and try to make improvements every single day, just like you guys. All right. Over and out. Brian here, Brian's Lawn Maintenance, guys. We look forward to catching up with you here on the next one.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.